A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, well, at least we hope, is tonight our setting is Star Wars Night between the Corvallis Knights and the Yakima Valley Pippins, game number 2 of 6 of this 6-game road trip to end out the 2026 season. Welcome into the broadcast, everybody. My name is Harmon Johnsen, live here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Yakima Valley and Corvallis, game 2 tonight after Corvallis takes game 1 11-6. Before we get into the matchup, there have been some dominoes that have fallen in the playoff race in the West Coast League. Last night, the Bellingham Bells getting a victory to secure their spot in the playoffs. They have secured a wild card berth for now. They are sitting right outside of the possibility of maybe wrapping up the second half title, but Wenatchee 17-5, Bellingham 13-9. If you do the math, that's only a 5-game separation. There's 5 games left to play tonight, so Bellingham would have to win out, Wenatchee would have to lose out, but the Bells are in. They cannot miss the playoffs. In the South, 2 teams clinched their spot to join Richfield yesterday, and one was bounced from the playoff race. The Walla Walla Sweets, picking up win number 30 last night, are officially in. They are trying to lock down the number 1 seed, so they've still got a lot of meaningful baseball left to play. And with the win last night over the Yakima Valley Pippins, the Corvallis Knights have secured their spot in the playoffs. They cannot miss it. They are only a game back of first place rather in the South standings in the second half. And so Corvallis still has lots of meaningful baseballs. They try to sneak their way into a top 2 seed. They're sitting a game behind the Richfield Raptors, and they would like to have some home field advantage during that first weekend instead of starting at home and then having to go on the road to try to continue their playoff hopes. And so the top 3 in the South, Walla Walla, Richfield, Corvallis, all 3 are in. It's just a matter of seeding. The Marion Berries, with a loss last night to the Bend Elks, are out. Both Marion and Bend 18-31. That leaves 3 teams alive in the South and only one more spot to fill. The Portland Pickles in 4th place, 24-25. The Springfield Drifters in 5th place, 22-27. And these Yakima Valley Pippins, 21-28. Mathematically, Yakima Valley cannot be eliminated tonight, but if they do not win this contest against Corvallis, it makes it extremely hard to get into the playoffs because you have to win out. Portland would also have to do some losing to keep Yakima Valley alive. And so tonight, extra important, just like last night, Yakima Valley really needs to find a way into the win column to keep their season and their playoff hope alive. Yakima Valley has one more game tomorrow, 5:05 p.m. here in Corvallis, and then a 3-game series starting on Monday in Portland. As long as you can keep it close enough that the Portland series is meaningful, then Yakima Valley can take care of their own business as long as they get some help from the opponents of the Springfield Drifters. We'll talk a lot more about the playoffs as this broadcast goes along, but just wanted to make everybody aware of where we're standing now in the playoff race. Things are starting to fall into place. 2 teams in the North, 3 teams are in the South. That means only 3 spots available across the remaining members of the West Coast League. Corvallis and Yakima Valley here in game number 2. Corvallis going to send out a very similar lineup to what they had last night. They scored 11 runs on only 9 hits. They committed 1 error, and they left 11 men on base. For Brooke Knight, his lineup will look like this. 14-8 in the second half, 27-22 overall. Diego Cruz leads it off and plays second base, the incoming freshman to Oregon State. Another Oregon State Beaver, Ethan Porter, the designated hitter, will bat second tonight. Maverick Russell, the first baseman, wearing number 20, will bat third. Dakota Chun cleans it up. He wears number 17. He will play third base. Batting fifth, the shortstop, number 28, Ryan Severns. Batting sixth, the center fielder, number 2, Max Medina. Batting seventh, the left fielder, number 6, Zane Garvey. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 15, Xavier Rios. And batting ninth for Corvallis is number 7, the right fielder, Joey Marasco. So again for the Knights, it's Cruz, Porter, Russell, Chun, Severns, Medina, Garvey, Rios, and Marasco. Instead of Chun playing catcher tonight, he's going to play third. Xavier Rios is inserted. He's the number 2 catcher on this squad. And Marasco moves down to the 9 hole Ryan Severance also moves down a spot because they insert Maverick Russell into the lineup. If you remember last night, Severance left the yard during his first at-bat. And now for Yakima Valley, coming into the game 9-13, 21-28 on the season. That 9-13, not what they hoped for in the second half, but as we turn the calendar to the month of August, there's still 5 meaningful games left to play here in the season. Leading it off, playing right field, number 3, Tyson Miller. Batting second, the center fielder, number 8, Tommy Lamb. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 20, Diego Davis. Batting cleanup, the catcher, number 25, Parker Burt. Batting fifth, the second baseman, number 2, Brennan Aoki. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 99, Max Workman. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 9, Brandon Stone. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 6, Yash Gupta. And batting ninth, the first baseman, number 16, Cole French. So again for Yakima Valley, Miller, Lamb, Davis, Burt, Aoki, Workman, Stone, Gupta, and French. The pitching matchup tonight features Carl Moland-Kovash for Yakima Valley and Arlo Pendleton for the Corvallis Knights. A couple of right-handers that'll be going at it when we get to the first pitch of this game. Here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, a decent crowd has filed in for their Star Wars night. The Knights are being announced by position and heading out to their spots in the field before the national anthem. It was Rutschman bobblehead giveaway night last night, Star Wars night tonight. I believe they have a fan appreciation night tomorrow, as tomorrow will be the final home game for the Corvallis Knights in the 2026 season. Corvallis, 10-time West Coast League champ. Yakima Valley hoping to make it to the playoffs for the first time since 2021. They have not won a West Coast League title. Two teams going to line up on the warning track, and we will get to the national anthem. We're going to take a quick break, grab a swig of water, and honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Come right back. First pitch between Corvallis and Yakima Valley. Game 2 is coming up next. You're listening to Pippins Baseball.
Direction of conductor Matty Pritchard.
It is time for baseball here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. A trio of violins down on the field playing our national anthem tonight. Corvallis has taken the field defensively, and Arlo Pendleton will toe the slab for the Knights here on a Saturday night. Arlo Pendleton, 18 1/3 innings pitched. This is start number 4, game number 7. He's 2-1, 22 strikeouts to 8 walks. 14 hits and 10 earned runs with a 4.91 ERA. Opponents are hitting .203 against Arlo Pendleton, a right-hander who stands fairly tall out there on the hill, just like his counterpart yesterday, Bryce Hill. Arlo Pendleton, 6'5", 205 from Cal Poly. And so we'll see what he does here against Tyson Miller, Tommy Lamb, Diego Davis, and the rest of the Yakima Valley Pippins batting order. The leather for Corvallis Left to right in the outfield, you've got Zane Garvey, Max Medina, and Joey Marasco. At third base tonight is Dakota Chun. Out at second is Ryan Severns. The second baseman is Diego Cruz, and the first baseman is Maverick Russell. Xavier Rios is doing the catching for Arlo Pendleton. It's a fairly cool day here in Corvallis, Oregon. I learned yesterday that we're only about 40 miles away from the Pacific coastline. Definitely getting some of that Pacific temperature here from the shores here in Oregon. Last check last night, the game was 72 degrees. First pitch temperature tonight is going to be around 72 degrees. So it's going to be a drastically different day in terms of weather conditions. There's also some breeze, pretty hard, stiff breeze blowing out towards left field. Trees all around the ballpark that is nestled right in the heart of campus here at Oregon State University, blowing out towards the batter's eye. If you're watching on YouTube, you see the image that we have keeping the place for the radio spot. That's about where the wind is blowing to. So going to be a lot of fly balls, probably a lot of baseballs to the warning track.
Game this evening for the Pippins.
Let's see what happens tonight as Tyson Miller digs in, the only left-handed batter for Yakima Valley, still on the roster. Pippins have two bench players, Hudson Freeze and Jackson Upton. And so it's going to be another one of those nights that even if somebody's struggling, they're going to have to stay in. The Pippins are expecting to pick up a couple of pitchers the next couple of days to help supplement through these last 5 contests. Arlo Pendleton going from this stretch. The first pitch of the ball game is a called strike at 6:36 p.m. here in Corvallis, Oregon. It is 72 degrees at Goss Stadium. Just a minute behind schedule. Pendleton sets the 0-1. Wave and a miss by Tyson Miller, the Pippins' leadoff man all year. Tyson batting .287. This is game number 48. Pippins wearing their green tops, gray pants, white Pippins in block across the front, white numerals as well, blue hats in the field. Pendleton set at the letters. Here's the 0-2. This is a fastball downstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Corvallis, meanwhile, doubling up on their uniform choice from yesterday. White tops, white pants with red pinstripes. They've got Knights in script across the front. They've got a small numeral on the front left side of their jersey in red. Red numerals on the back. Red caps as well with the C logo for Corvallis. 1-2. Tyson shoots out a play over on the left side, foul. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Through 2 innings last night, it was a 2-1 ball game. Corvallis had a long first inning, and then Tristan Pulliam settled in, got a 4-batter second inning. He was not quite as successful in the third, though, as he saw 8 men for the Knights. 1-2, slider, called strike 3. Top of the zone to Tyson Miller. 1 up and 1 down for Arlo Pendleton here on a Saturday afternoon. Umpiring crew today, Perry Schofield is behind home plate calling balls and strikes. He wears number 79. Jim Courtney is in the field. He wears number 56, currently standing over in the A position behind first base. A quick adjustment for Xavier Rios' PitchCom device that he wears on the back of his chest protector. And now Tommy Lamb digging in, hitting in the 2-hole today as he takes a fastball across his shoe tops to make the count 1-0. Tommy, the center fielder again today, as he will likely be for the rest of the season. Native of Kennewick, Washington, batting .314 in all of his games with the Pippins. That is not his league batting average. But this is game number 20 if you include all of those non-league appearances for Tommy. 1-0, shot out to right field. Marasco coming in. He will make the catch shoulder high. 7 pitches here in the first inning, and Arlo Pendleton has 2 outs. That'll bring up Diego Davis, who did not appear in yesterday's game. The Pippins going to have to kind of play rotations with their catchers on the roster. You've got Jackson Upton, Parker Burt, Diego Davis. So Coach Crustangel DHing Diego today likely means that Diego's going to catch tomorrow after getting the day off yesterday. First pitch from Pendleton is chopped foul back towards the third base on deck circle. No balls and a strike. All turf surface here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Clear skies overhead. Pippins occupying the first base dugout. Knights over on the third base side. Pendleton at the letters. The 0-1 is bounced high over the third base coaching box up against the netting. Coach Crustangel will end up with it. And he will toss it off to a Corvallis Knight substitute. 0-2 to Diego Davis, batting .256 in 11 games with Yakima Valley. He's got 2 doubles in his 10 hits. The 0-2 from Pendleton. Chop foul behind the McGrath family press box, which we sit in. 0-2. My vantage point off to the third base side behind the dish. Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, Division I facility that's hosted many regionals in the last few seasons for the Oregon State Beavers. The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, froze Diego Davis. Perry Schofield rings up Yakima Valley's catcher, and down in order go the Pippins in the top half of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, no men left on base. To the bottom of the first we go. Pippins 0, Knights coming up. This is Pippins Baseball.
Up on the bench of the market. Favorite TNT builders party deck concessions. Deliver arch your fever. TNT builders. And financial efforts in the plane of the battle. 25 years. Visit them at TNTbuilders.com. It's time to get united.
Bottom of the first inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Yakima Valley on defense for the first time today. Carl Moland-Kovash will be out towing the slab for the Pippins. Carl from Whitman College. This is his second season with Yakima Valley after 3 seasons with the Blues. 0-1, 12 games. This is his second start. 20 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, 18 walks, a .585 ERA, and opponents hitting .221 against Carl Moland-Kovash. His last start was against these Corvallis Knights. He went 2 innings, giving up 6 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. And Yakima Valley going to Carl because they need the veteran experience. They need somebody who can try to get through 3 to 4 innings. Oliver Wilday did a great job last night for the Pippins, getting through 4 after Tristan Pulliam only went 3. The Pippins only used 3 pitchers in last night's game, and Hound Tanaka only threw about 10 pitches. So Tanaka, you would assume, is available again tonight if needed. Defense behind Carl Moland-Kovash. You've got Max Workman in left, Tommy Lamb in center, Tyson Miller in right. Yash Gupta is at third, Brandon Stone's at short, Brandon Aoki is at second, Cole French back at first, Parker Burt doing the catching for Carl Moland-Kovash. Brook Knight sends up Diego Cruz, Ethan Porter, and Maverick Russell first to go up against Carl, who will go out of the stretch, making his second start of the summer. Diego Cruz awaits the first pitch from Carl Moland-Kovash, high and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Cruz with that signature run-up to the front of the box, just like you see a slap bunter in softball. Cruz was the designated hitter yesterday, an incoming freshman to Oregon State, so he'll spend most of the year in Corvallis as he takes an outside pitch, 2 balls and no strikes. Cruz batting .290 in 18 games with the Corvallis Knights, 20 hits, 4 of them for doubles, 10 RBI as well. Carl sets. Here comes the 2-0. This is down, and a 3-0 count to start off to Diego Cruz. Not the most encouraging, especially when you know that Ethan Porter is waiting on deck. Carl setting at the belt. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Automatic take from Cruz, and that's strike one, according to Perry Schofield. Carl going to sit 87 to 88 with the fastball. 3-1. That just misses, according to Perry. Ball 4 to Diego Cruz. Leadoff man's aboard for the Corvallis Knights.
Now at the plate.
And right away, here comes Ethan Porter with a RBI opportunity. Those last couple of pitches, not in the zone or out of the zone by much. So Carl maybe just needed a batter to get used to the turf mound out there at Goss. It's kind of an adventure for pitchers here, especially starters, as Cruz running on first motion. Breaking ball for a strike. Throw down from Parker. Strong, but late. Aoki applied the tag right as Diego Cruz touched second base. So now a man in scoring position. Ethan Porter behind in the count, 0-1. The reason I say it's an adventure for a starting pitcher is the bullpens are out in left field. Look back to second. Another look back by Carl. 0-1. Slider top of the zone. Called ball 1, 1-1. And so if you're a starting pitcher, you'll do some of your warm-ups most likely on your own line. For the Pippins, that is the first base line. You'll walk all the way out to center field, do a little bit more throwing and stretching. 1-1. There's a fastball hummed in at the bottom of the zone. 1-2. Then you'll climb into the bullpen, do some throwing, and then you have to walk all the way across the field to make your way down to the first base dugout and then wait for a half an inning. I guess you could technically come from the bullpen if you wanted to, but your catcher has to hit. Check swing over onto the right side. Aoki in his normal second base position throws it onto French. He touches first base, and there's an out there. Aoki was shifted up the middle, but then it went to the more routine spot. He handled it fine. 4-3 put out. Man at third. Diego Cruz moves up on the ground ball. That'll bring up Maverick Russell. Russell heading to UCLA. Second season with the Corvallis Knights. 283 batting average as he takes first pitch backdoor breaking ball for strike one. This is game number 19 for Russell this summer after playing in 34 last year. Russell and then Dakota Chun back-to-back left-handed bats facing off here against the right-hander Carl Moland-Kovash. Another slider outside, 1-1 strike. Diego Cruz got on with a walk as a left-hander. Not quite the same alternating lineup for Brook Knight today. He goes lefty-righty, lefty-lefty, righty, lefty-lefty, righty-righty. 1-1. Rides inside. 2-1 strike. Carl got it up to 89. Moland-Kovash feeling some of the juices here, pitching at this D1 facility. Staring down Diego Cruz at third from the stretch, the 2-1. Another backdoor breaking ball. Brought back across the plate by Parker Burt. It's 2-2. Pippins have seen Perry Schofield, the home plate umpire, quite a bit recently. Of course, most famously, Perry had to do a game solo. 2-2, chopped high but foul over to first base. His partner, Derek Dunbar at the time, took a foul ball right off the mask, stayed in for 2 more pitches, although there were some delays in between each pitch, and then would leave the game with concussion protocol. And so Perry, after being the home plate umpire the night before, put the gear on. 2-2, high breaking ball, counts full. Put the gear on, and for the second straight night, he called balls and strikes. It was from about the third inning on. And then the next night, with his new partner, Nick Darlington, he was behind the plate again. So 3 straight nights of Perry's zone. Payoff, on the ground foul again, past first. This will clang up against the sidewall and deposit itself foul. Diego Davis going to go track it down. Count still full here to Maverick Russell. Carl coming set on top of that turf hill. Brings home the payoff. Breaking ball flown out towards very shallow left. Stone twisting around. He's upside down. Workman couldn't find it in the sun. Heading to second base is Maverick Russell, and the Corvallis Knights have a 1-0 lead. I'll be interested to see how they score this. Stone went out, but he got turned around. He was going to have to, over the shoulder, catch it kind of Willie Mays style. And so he gave up on it and let Workman come in. But Workman, with the sun right in his face as he's playing left field, had no idea where it was. So it bounced right in front of Workman. Ends up as a double for Maverick Russell and an RBI that scored Diego Cruz. First pitch misses upstairs to Dakota Chun. It's probably one of the shorter doubles you'll see if you're Maverick Russell. Got underneath of it and popped it basically straight up. It was an exit angle of 59 degrees. 1-0 misses upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. So Carl not going to get the benefit of an error and keep that run potentially off of his ERA. It's 1-0, going to have to limit the damage. There's only 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Backdoor fastball this time, right on the outside part of the plate, 2-1. I don't know if you can technically call it backdoor, but the way that Parker Bird is gathering and framing and then presenting the ball to Perry Schofield, it certainly looks like it. Carl staring down second. Here's the 2-1. Waved and fouled off of the body of Dakota Chun. The third baseman today for Corvallis. Chun, 5'10", 230 from Honolulu, Hawaii. He is a freshman at the University of Portland playing for the Pilots. Wrapped up a year there. I guess he'll be a sophomore. Everybody does it differently, and I wish that we would do it all the same. Some teams list the year they came from. Some teams list the year that they're going into. He has 1 season at Portland under his belt, though. 2-2. High, 3 balls and 2 strikes, and we'll see if that ends up changing with the new 5-5 rule that's been implemented, because sometimes guys will be listed as a sophomore, but they had 2 seasons of experience. Well, one of the years they were a redshirt. That should be done and over with the new rules. 3-2, breaking ball outside, ball 4. Carl issues his second walk of the night. Runners are at first and second with 1 away for Ryan Severns. Severns from UC Santa Barbara, batting .321 with Corvallis. This is game number 35. Severns has 42 hits, 11 of them doubles, 2 of them triples, 2 of them home runs. He got the second of the 2 home runs last night. First pitch from Carl, big sweeping breaking ball this time, 0-1 as it crosses the plate. Severns playing shortstop again tonight. Corvallis leads at 1-0, just underway here in this ballgame. Runners at first and second. They both get healthy leads. Now go back as Carl looks at them. Another breaking ball, another strike from Moland-Kovash. It's 0-2. Let's see if Parker speeds up Ryan Severns here. Tristan Pulliam did that last night and did not get the baseball back. Carl staring at second. 0-2 delivery. This one fouled straight back. Carl went with the fastball. Was at the top of the zone. So they did heat him up, but Severns was able to get just enough lumber on it to stay alive. He'd love a double play here. Pippins playing Severns to pull. The 0-2. Wave and a miss. Top shelf. Went even higher with the fastball that time. Severns couldn't get the wood up to that. First strikeout of the night for Carl Moland-Kovash, and there's 2 down ahead of Max Medina.
Now at the plate from Cal Poly, center fielder.
Max Medina, an incoming freshman to Cal Poly. He's batting .311, and We'll see how this at-bat goes. Mac the Knight, the mascot, is standing right on the steps that blocks my view of home plate. First pitch, a strike right at the top of the zone. It's 0-1. Now he's walked up the stairs and is apparently heading into the press box. So the view is clear. Oh, now he's in the press box. What's up, Mac? Just got a fist bump from the Knight himself. Parker doesn't know where the ball's at. It's at his feet. The pitch was a strike. Both runners move up. He went straight to the backstop before he got any help from his infield. So that's a passed ball that advances those two runners. A passed ball that literally sat on home plate. But it was a strike when Parker dropped it. So it's 0-2. Carl looking for back-to-back strikeouts. Pitch number 30 of the first inning. Breaking ball, cut on, and missed. Moland-Kovash with back-to-back punchies, and the Knights are limited to only one run in the first inning. One run on one hit. There were no errors by Yakima Valley, and there were two runners left on base. An inning in the books. Corvallis 1, Yakima Valley 0. This is Pippins Baseball.
Darker forests and fair-owned and stewardship. We care for our forests, and the clean water and air to sustain these, wildlife that depends on, and the communities that call it home. Our forests provide renewable wood products, beautiful views, and recreational opportunities in Benton, Weymouth, and Lincoln counties. Come spend time in our forests. Start with forests. Grow forests, not just trees. Don't forget to grab your 50/50 raffle tickets to win tonight's jackpot. This evening's 50/50 raffle benefits every child in Benton and Lincoln counties. Every child connects local kids in foster care with the families and community support they need to thrive. Winner to be drawn at the end of the seventh inning.
Top of the second inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Harmon Johnsen with you as we approach the 7 o'clock hour here in Corvallis, Oregon. Arlo Pendleton worked a 1-2-3 first inning, and now he'll face Parker Burt, Brennan Aoki, and Max Workman in the top half of the second. 1-0 Corvallis here on this Saturday night. Corvallis got a double from Maverick Russell that scored a run, and then two runners were left on base as the first pitch to Parker misses inside from Pendleton, 1 ball and no strikes. Parker Burt heading to Ball State once the season wraps up. He's batting .318 in 44 games with Yakima Valley. 1-0, changeup, a miss downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Pendleton's got decent velocity. Seen him go 88, 89, similar to Moland-Kovash. He hums this in there, and for about the third straight night, Parker Burt has lost his bat. He pulls it so hard, he sent it right over top of Coach Crustangel. Brennan Aoki going to bring out a little bit of extra sticky stuff to hand off to Parker. Krusty's over there feeling where the pine tar usually goes on the bat, and he says, Parker, you need to get some more. Parker furiously applying the pine tar stick to the handle of his bat. That's how violent of a swing Parker Burt has. He commits to a spot, and when he rips hard. Parker digging back into the right-hand batter's box. 2 balls and a strike after that violent swing and a miss. Pendleton brings it. Another big cut. This is a breaking ball downstairs. 2-2. Pendleton looking for a third strikeout already. The 2-2. Got him. Wave and a miss by Parker. That is Pendleton's calling card. Coming into the game, he had 22 strikeouts to only 8 walks.
Now to play.
And so Arlo going to lean heavily on his strikeout stuff. That was a nasty breaking ball downstairs that Parker could not resist. Brennan Aoki takes a first pitch strike. Fastball hummed into the middle of the zone at 88. Aoki playing second base today, the 0-1. Pendleton working with pace, misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brennan batting .261 with the Pippins. This is game number 8. He has a couple of multi-hit affairs. Both of those coming at home. 1-1. Breaking ball top of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Corvallis really leaning into the Star Wars night effects. They've played the Death Star warning sound quite a few times. 1-2. Late wave and a miss from Brennan Aoki. 80-mile-an-hour slider top of the zone. That's 4 strikeouts and 5 outs for Arlo Pendleton.
Now to play the left fielder.
That'll bring up Max Workman. Workman picked up his first hit as a Yakima Valley Pippin last night, a bouncing ball over the third base bag. So batting only .063. He's 1 for 16 in that right-hand batter's box from Spokane Falls Community College. He's going to line one back up the middle and ruin the perfect game for Arlo Pendleton. Back-to-back nights with a hit for Max Workman here at Goss Stadium against the Knights. Arlo gave him 88 below the zone, and Workman just said, you know what, I'll go down and golf it and send it out to center field. Man aboard for Brandon Stone. Stone hitting in the 7-hole today. He's batting .229 for Yakima Valley. First pitch takes downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Brandon heading to Washington State out of East Valley High School. Committed as a pitcher, but he's been playing defense and hitting as Workman takes off from first. Swing and a miss from Stone. The throw down is late. Max Workman steals second base. The count 1-1 to Brandon Stone. He has a runner in scoring position now. First stolen bag for Workman. He had 19 of them with Spokane Falls. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pendleton out of the stretch. Sends in a pitch right at the top of the zone. Another fastball called a strike by Perry Schofield. So a 2-strike count. Pendleton trying to strike out the side. He would pick up strikeout number 5. Set at the letters. Takes 1 quick look back towards second. Now here comes the second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trying to go with that slider again. Those are the only 2 pitches I've really seen from Pendleton. I'm trying to remember back to his start because his last start was against Yakima Valley as well. That was up at County Stadium last Sunday. I don't remember a changeup being in the arsenal. It's mainly fastball slider. 2-2. Half swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, according to Jim Courtney. Brandon Stone strikes out swinging, and Arlo Pendleton strikes out the side. The Pippins get no runs on their first hit of the ball game, no errors, and leave 1 man at second. After an inning and a half, it's Corvallis 1, Yakima Valley 0. This is Pippins baseball. Bottom of the second inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Harmon Johnsen with you. Corvallis leading Yakima Valley 1-0 after an inning and a half of play. It's 7, 8, and 9 due up for the night. Zane Garvey, Xavier Rios, and Joey Marasco. Carl Moland-Kovash back to work here in inning number 2. He threw 30 pitches in his first frame. First offering, a slider that gets away from Parker Burt inside, ball 1. Zane Garvey, the left fielder, committed to the University of Portland after 2 seasons at Western Oregon. He has been used as a hitter and a pitcher this summer. As this slider rides inside and plunks him. Carl's been pretty heavy on the breaking ball to start this outing. That one went a bit too far in. And so the leadoff man in the second inning is aboard. That brings up Xavier Rios. Rios, the number 2 catcher for Corvallis. This is his second season with the Knights. He's from CSUN, Cal State Northridge. Batting .232 in game number 30 with Corvallis. First pitch, slider inside. This got the elbow guard of Xavier Rios. 2 aboard, both on hit by pitches. Not a great start to the second inning if you're Carl Moland-Kovash. Parker Burt going to head out to the hill and have a chat with his right-handed arm. Carl walked 2 in the first inning. Gave up only 1 hit, got 2 strikeouts. Now he has hit back-to-back batters. That brings up Joey Marasco, the right fielder. Marasco played center field yesterday. He also came in and pitched the last out of the ballgame.
Let's go.
Look back towards second for Carl. First pitch to Marasco. He's showing bunt. It's a breaking ball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Keeping an eye on Major League Baseball. I know there's a lot to think about here in the West Coast League, but the trade deadline for the MLB coming up soon. 1-0, showing bunt again, pulling back as the slider's outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Sounds like the Chicago White Sox are going to be buyers at the deadline. As of 5 minutes ago, Seattle Mariner Luis Castillo is heading to the south side. 2-0. Bunt drop down. Carl fielding his position. 1 play onto a covering Aoki in time. So a successful sacrifice for Joey Marasco. Score it. Sack bunt. 1 for the putout. 2 in scoring position for the top of the Corvallis Knights order. Diego Cruz walked back in the first inning. According to Jeff Passan, the White Sox and Mariners have agreed to a trade that sends Luis Castillo to the south side of Chicago in exchange for Sir Anthony Dominguez, Nolan Jones, and Boston Smith. Seems like a pretty good deal if you're the White Sox. Infield plays in except for Brennan Aoki. First pitch slider misses upstairs to Diego Cruz. Left-handed bat, so Aoki going to play deep in the hole out at second. Cole French playing even with the bag. Left side of the infield playing in on the grass. 2 in scoring position. The 1-0 pitch from Carl. There's a backdoor breaking ball. 1-1. Other trade deadline rumors from the MLB. The Atlanta Braves are acquiring Lane Thomas and Bailey Falter from the Kansas City Royals. 1-1. Down the left field line. This is hooking foul and off the hands of a fan down in the pavilion. Lane Thomas, the outfielder, and Bailey Falter, the left-handed pitcher, heading to Atlanta. Minor leaguers Carter Holton and Lucas Braun going from the Atlanta organization to Kansas City. 2-1, called strike 3. Diego Cruz frozen on a sweeping slider. Strikeout number 3 for Carl Moland-Kovash. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning.
Now hitting Oregon State University, designated hitter.
Good location from Carl, up and away from Diego Cruz, the left-handed bat. Now here's Ethan Porter grounding out to second back in the first inning. Last night he was 1 for 5. Didn't get his hit until the 6th inning. First pitch misses upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. So to those of you who are Mariner fans, hearing that Luis Castillo no longer with the club, it's got to be an interesting feeling. Still a lot of time before the trade deadline in the MLB. 1-0 fastball, high and away, 2 balls, no strikes. Some other interesting thoughts. The Pirates showing interest in Huascar Brazoban. The Yankees looking at Luis Garcia Jr. Two-0 from Carl. Breaking ball, get me over strike. It's 2-1. The Angels earlier today scratched Jose Soriano from a scheduled start. There's talk that Soriano will be dealt at the deadline from Anaheim. 2-1, nubbed off the end of the bat foul towards Coach Crustangel. He'll go and pick it up. So the count now 2-2. Trade deadline is Monday at, I believe, 6 Eastern for the MLB. 2 runners in scoring position. 2-2 pitch to Ethan Porter. Breaking ball sent out a play on the right side. We'll do it again. I think the biggest question of all of them is where will Tariq Skubal be playing when the trade deadline is over? Former West Coast leaguer, played with the Kitsap Blue Jackets up in Bremerton before they were disbanded and moved to Port Angeles to become the lefties. 2-2 from Carl. Breaking ball high to the backstop. This will play to run. Scoring on a slide is Zane Garvey, moving up to third. Xavier Rios, wild pitch, makes it 2-0 Corvallis. The count full here to Ethan Porter, and see if Carl can pick up strikeout number 4 to get out of this inning with only the 1 run allowed. Xavier Rios now standing at third. Payoff, down and away, ball 4. The inning will continue for Maverick Russell.
Now to play for UC Santa Barbara.
Russell doubled back in the first inning. That allowed Diego Cruz to score the first run of the game. Even earlier today, still talking about MLB trades, the Pittsburgh Pirates acquired Camilo Doval from the New York Yankees. First pitch, Maverick Russell takes high and away, ball 1. Ethan Porter doing some dancing over at first. Big concern if you're a Bucco fan. Paul Skeens' ERA in the month of July was over 6. What has happened to the Wonder Boy Paul Skeens? Long pause from Carl, men at the corners. The 1-0 pitch. Slider got the outer part of the plate to this left-handed hitter, 1-1. I think I saw something today that Paul Skeens has not thrown a pitch over 98 miles an hour in his last 3 starts. Skeens might be getting a little fatigued here in his, what is this, 3rd season as a big leaguer? 1-1, breaking ball ripped out towards right field, down for a hit. Porter running from first to third with 2 outs. Xavier Rios trots home to score. Second RBI of the night for Maverick Russell. It's an RBI single, and it's 3-0 Corvallis. The double was to left field, the single this time to right field. All of these runs scoring with 2 outs. Here's the cleanup man, Dakota Chun. Chun walked back in the first inning. Carl going to step off and throw to first. Last night for Dakota Chun, hitting in the 3-hole 0 for 3, but he walked and was hit by a pitch. He scored 2 runs and he drove a man in on an RBI groundout. First pitch he sees, he serves into center field, down for a knock. Ethan Porter comes home to score. 4-0 Corvallis Knights here in the bottom of the second. Back-to-back RBI singles for the Knights. Maverick Russell, who got on before Dakota Chun, stops at second base. Pippins do have a few bodies up and stretching in their bullpen. Here's Ryan Severns, the 8th man to hit in the second inning. Takes a fastball high and tight. 1 ball, no strikes. Severns hit a 2-run home run in the first inning of yesterday's game, and now Ethan Salscheider are going to head out to the hill. Jacket on. Everybody standing in the shadows on the right half of the infield. Definitely a little bit chilly down there on the turf. Salsa, teammates with Carl in 2024. Now the coach for Carl here in 2026. Got to be a pretty cordial conversation out there. Is Salsa just trying to calm down Moland-Kovash? Parker Bird also doing his best back there. A lot of the Pippins pitchers have said that they really enjoy having Parker catch them. And that's not a knock on Jackson Upton or Diego Davis or any of the other catchers that Yakima Valley has had this summer. That's just pitchers usually have a preference once they've been caught by multiple different people. Sometimes that's how some catchers survive as long as they do in the major leagues. 1-0 pitch misses upstairs to Severns. Looking back towards second, Carl. Here comes the 2-0. Sweeping slider across the plate, 2-1. A little bit of a different situation, but Doug Marabelli comes to mind when you think about pitchers who have a preference for a catcher and vice versa. Marabelli was kind of given the nickname as the personal catcher for Tim Wakefield when he was with the Red Sox because Wakefield threw a knuckleball. Marabelli was about the only guy that could catch it. 2-1, lifted out towards left field. Workman looking above the sun. He waits for it to settle. He makes the catch shoulder high. And the second inning is wrapped up.
The second inning.
A fly out to left ends this 3-run inning for Corvallis. Only 2 hits in the second. No errors by Yakima Valley. And 2 men left on base. 2 innings in the books. 4-0 Corvallis. This is Pippins Baseball.
Pippins lightsaber. We have William and Olivia. It's been 10 times around their lightsaber and then run to back the night. Whoever steps in. On our mark, get set, go. Put the saber on them. We have a unicorn. I believe and William is the winner. No one now. I think I'm borders. That's pretty well to see.
Top of the third inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Yakima Valley trailing 4-0 to the Corvallis Knights. It'll be 8-9-1 due up for the Pippins. Yash Gupta, Cole French, and Tyson Miller facing off against Arlo Pendleton. Carl Moland-Kovash is at 55 pitches. Pendleton at only 25. First pitch. Drilled out towards left field. Garvey going back to the track makes the catch at his waist before one stepping right in front of the outfield wall. Yash gave it a ride. He barreled that baseball. Ballpark here, 330 to the poles, 400 to center field, 365 to straightaway, or to the gaps, I should say. Left field does have a 14-foot wall. Everywhere else, 8 foot tall. Big, huge batter's eye out in center as well. So one pitch and one out here in the top of the third. Here's Cole French, the number 9 hitter. First pitch fastball inside part of the plate. It is 0-1. French playing first base again tonight. Played very well over at first yesterday. 143 hitter with Yakima Valley. He's got 2 knocks to his name as the 0-1 spikes in. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. He's also walked 3 times. Game number 6 for French. Played in all 3 down in Walla Walla. 1-1 downstairs. 2 balls and a strike. That was the second trip to Borleski, not the first. Two 1. Wave and a miss. That pitch was inside. It was a fastball from Arlo Pendleton. He's got 5 strikeouts on the night. Looking for number 6. 2-2 to French. Above the zone. That appeared to be more of a changeup. It didn't have quite the horizontal movement. Only registered at 80 miles an hour. So maybe Arlo does have one in the tank. Payoff pitch. French puts it in play out towards short. 2 bounces to Severance. Gathers, throws. 2 down here in the top of the third. Tyson Miller back to the top of the Yakima Valley order. Tyson struck out looking back in the first inning. Yesterday for Tyson, 1 for 4. He did not score, which is almost a rare feat for Miller. He usually, with the amount of times he finds ways on base, comes around at least once. But he did drive home a run, picked up an RBI on a sacrifice fly in the 8th inning. First pitch, breaking ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes to Tyson Miller. Tyson's got to feel pretty lonely being the only left-handed bat anymore for Yakima Valley as the 1-0 fastball is down and away, 2 balls and no strikes. For a time, Yakima Valley had just as many everyday lefty hitters as they had righties. You think about Jay O'Neill, Malachi Emery Henderson, Levi Sotomayor. You could really make a pitcher go back and forth in a night. 2-0 fastball stuck on the outer part of the plate, 2-1. Now, after Miller, everybody's right-handed. Both bench options are right-handed as well. 2-1. Fastball downstairs. Tyson lays off. It's 3-1. Guess technically, if you really wanted to, Keithan Vaquera, left-handed pitcher, also bats left-handed. Let's hope the Pippins don't have to throw one of their pitchers in as a batter in this series. 3-1, slowly chopped out towards the hill. Pendleton takes the top spin, throws it onto first, and safe at first will be Tyson as he pulls Russell off the bag. Maverick Russell had to extend high and away from the first base bag to go get the ball. Pendleton took his time. He did everything right. He just could not complete the throw accurately. That'll be an E1 against Arlo Pendleton. Second error of the series committed by Corvallis. Here's Tommy Lamb, flew out to right field back in the first inning. First pitch, swinging, deep in the hole at short. Severance coming in, bobbles into the hands of Chun, but he'll put the ball in his pocket. That'll likely be an infield single for Tommy Lamb. We'll see how it's scored. Severance took it on one hop. It popped out of his glove. Maybe that'll lead to an error, but then Chun almost had enough time to make the transfer and throw on to first. Official scoring says E6. So back-to-back errors committed by the Corvallis infield. First by the pitcher Pendleton, then by the shortstop Severance. Now here's Diego Davis. Davis sees the first pitch strike, a fastball on the inside black. No balls and a strike to Diego, who struck out looking to end the first inning. Pippins left one man on in the second, trying to plate their first run in a 4-0 ball game. 0-1, fastball across the knees, inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Corvallis comes into this game with 75 errors. They now have 77. That is quite a few for the team that is in third place in the WCL South. Look back towards second, 1-1 from Pendleton. Breaking ball laid off, 2 balls and a strike. By the third game of the series with Springfield, a team that is 22-27, the Drifters only had about 50 errors. Both of these teams play on turf, Springfield and Corvallis. 2-1. Diego fouls this off his body. It's 2-2 as he takes a second to gather himself. I think the difference between, if you're looking at Springfield and why their record maybe is so poor despite the good defensive fielding, is if you look at their offense, they are not on the same level as the Corvallis Knights. Now, they had a couple of big games against Yakima Valley, but the Pippins also weren't playing their best baseball. 2-2 with 2 outs, 2 on. Breaking ball upstairs to Diego Davis. The count runs full. It'll be an action pitch for the 2 runners on base. Tyson Miller leading the way at second after an E1. Tommy Lamb at first after an E6. They will both be in motion. Pendleton staring in for the sign. Last gleams of sunlight going off at the top of his cap. Payoff pitch to Davis is lined into left field, down for a base hit. Tyson Miller's going to score. Tommy Lamb looking back. He'll hold up at third. RBI single for Diego Davis, and the Pippins are on the scoreboard. Nice job by Diego to take a pitch that was down at the bottom of the zone, lifted into left field. Didn't try to do too much with it, just put good contact on it. He's rewarded with an RBI, a very mature at-bat for Diego Davis. That's part of the reason I asked Coach Crustangel why move Diego to the 3-hole. And he said Diego just takes so many mature at-bats. He is an experienced player. He knows what it's like to play at the D1 level. And now Parker swinging first pitch off the glove of Pendleton, up the middle. Cruz sending it on to first. And that will retire the side. So a 1-4-3 putout to end the third inning. Yakima Valley scoring 1 run on 1 hit, 2 Corvallis errors, and 2 men left on the base pads. After 2.5 innings, Corvallis 4, Yakima Valley 1. This Pippins baseball.
Birthday here at Goss Stadium. Tonight's Benton County Schools Credit Union junior announcer is George. George is going to be calling the Knights up to bat this inning. Compliments of Benton County Schools Credit Union. Take it away, George.
Bottom third here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Yakima Valley trailing Corvallis 4-1. The Pippins got on the scoreboard, though, in the top of the third inning, getting 1 run on an RBI single by Diego Davis and a couple of errors by the Corvallis infield. The only man that did not hit in the bottom of the second inning, Max Medina, leads off here in the bottom of the third. Medina struck out back in the first. First pitch, right over the heart of the plate. 0-1 from Carl Moland-Kovash. Carl at 55 pitches through 2 innings. So Carl going to try to get through at least 3, hopefully 4. Slider fouled off. It's 0-2. Every pitch, every arm, every appearance is very important down the stretch. The Pippins still in the playoff hunt and limping their way towards a potential playoff berth, but even so, you don't want to go into the last 2 to 3 games of the summer as the 0-2 misses outside, 1-2. You don't want to go into the last 2 to 3 games of the summer with no pitchers. You don't want those games to be non-contest. You still want to produce a good product. Again, the Pippins are hoping to acquire a couple of arms starting tomorrow. 1-2 on the ground out towards second. Aoki, routine play. Medina runs well, but he's out by a half a step. Aoki knew he had plenty of time. Medina busting it up the line. Jim Courtney punches out the center fielder over at first base, and there's 1 down here in the third. Aoki was almost too casual with it, but it was a routine play. So he made it with routine speed. Here's Zane Garvey, Beaverton native, attending the University of Portland. 2 seasons at Western Oregon, though. Garvey is an interesting player because the 2 seasons at Western Oregon, 42 games as a freshman, 333 batting average, 50 games as a sophomore, 306 batting average. Power numbers jump, though, as the 0-1 misses upstairs, 1-1. He was also used in multiple different positions, third base, first base, shortstop. Zane Garvey here this summer, playing in the outfield a lot. 1-1, lifted out towards left. Workman charging in. Settles, nearly overran it, but he backs up and makes the catch. Out number 2. Man, that sun setting over on the west side, which is the first base dugout, basically flush with that, really messing with the left side of the Pippins defense. It's an F7, though. A little bit more exciting than F7 than you'd like, but F7 regardless. Here's Xavier Rios, hit by a pitch back in the second inning. First pitch breaking ball, Rios goes down to get it, but comes up empty, 0-1. Rios from CSUN, or I should say, not from CSUN, that would be someone else. I don't know what I was thinking there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tell you what, these last 5 games might be interesting. 1-1, Parker trying to bring that down into the zone. He does so violently that he drops the ball, 2-1. Rios listed as attending Cal State San Marcos. Must have committed from somewhere else. He was at CSUN. That's what I was thinking. 2-1. Lifted again to the outfield. This is shallow, though. Stone, settling, catching. Right on the cut where the infield meets the outfield turf. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Carl Moland-Kovash on 10 pitches. Yakima Valley up to bat in the top of the 4th as we're a third of the way through this ball game. This Pippins baseball.
Picked up 0 runs on 0 hits.
Nice job,
And
George.
left 0 runners bang.
Nice job, George. And so he clears to Brendan Pound. He scores great. Puts 1-3 in the junior now. Okay, Night fans, it's time for some Star Wars trivia. I have Kevin Marshall here with me, who was volunteered by Nate Marshall to do some rapid fire trivia. Are we ready? Let's go, Dominic. What invisible power binds the galaxy together? Force. There we go. Which young Jedi Knight becomes Darth Vader? There we go. All right, and what's the name of Han Solo's ship? Okay. And who are the masters of the dark side?
Dark Sith.
Yes. Padme, I can't even say that, is queen of what peaceful planet? There we go. Okay. What substance powers lightsabers? Okay, we don't know that one. And last one. What were the last words in The Empire Strikes Back?
Top of the fourth inning here at Goss Stadium, Coleman Field. Star Wars trivia going on here on Star Wars Night. There were some characters wandering around. I wondered what the night was going to bring, whether it was just, hey, it's Star Wars Night, show up, or if we're actually going to celebrate it. First pitch to Brennan Aoki from Arlo Pendleton, misses downstairs, 1-0. It's Aoki, Workman, and Stone here in the top of the fourth. 4-1 ball game, Corvallis in front. But they had the Mandalorian, 1-0, high and tight, 2 balls, no strikes. They had one of the Death Star laser workers. Guess I don't even know the actual name. It's been long enough since I've seen episode 4. But they also looked like an Imperial officer down there as well. 2-0, misses high and tight again, 3 balls and no strikes. Of course, the Star Wars that most people think of now is The Mandalorian and the new TV series. I have rarely watched any of them. 3-0, Aoki taking all the way. He'll take ball 4 inside, and the leadoff walk has a man aboard to start the fourth inning for Yakima Valley. I've seen bits and pieces of The Mandalorian, but I cannot say that I've sat down and watched it religiously. I've seen a little bit of Kenobi, because Obi-Wan Kenobi is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. But really, other than the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, here's the pitch to Workman on the ground out towards short. Severns, underhand flip to Cruz. Cruz on to first. Double play. 6-4-3 if you're scoring along with us. There's 2 down just as quickly as Aoki got aboard. Here comes Brandon Stone with 2 away. Other than the 9 main movies that are considered canon, although that's debatable depending on what brand of Star Wars fan you are, I've only seen Rogue One, Solo, A Star Wars Story, and a lot of Star Wars The Clone Wars. Stone watches one go behind his back, 1 ball, no strikes. I watched every single episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars, that animated series that was on Cartoon Network, except for the newest season. I have not seen the newest season, which I'm told is extremely good because it kind of interlaces with the happenings of Star Wars Episode 3. 1-0 downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. That's more of what kind of Star Wars fan I am. I don't know how much I care for some of the other TV shows that are out there. 2-0, wave and a miss, 2-1. You knew it was inevitable when Disney acquired the rights that they would make more TV shows. And with The Mandalorian and how successful it was, that was amazing to see. And I think Disney got a little greedy with the success of those TV shows. 2-1, there's a called strike over the heart of the plate, 2-2. But I have heard from some of my friends that shows like Andor are really good, following the events of Cassian Andor from Rogue One. 2-2 to Stone, wave and a miss. Leadoff walk, but then a double play and a strikeout gets Arlo Pendleton through 4 innings, only giving up the 1 run. No runs, no hits, no errors, no Pippins left on. Bottom 4 is next. It's 4-1 Corvallis.
Interesting to look for this ballpark this evening. Out of the TNT Builders party deck, we have Durko and Cole. In the Hotel Corvallis Omaha room, we have Ford Work Credit Union. And out on the Fitzpatrick Party Patio, we have the Block 15 Milk Club. Thank you to all of your groups for spending your evening out here with the Knights at Goss Stadium. Over in Section F, we have Lonely Streams, the Catalyst Psychiatry nonprofit brigade. Are you struggling with treatment-resistant depression? Are you tired of medications that don't work or give you side effects? Catalyst Psychiatry can help improve treatments like Spravato and TMS. At Catalyst Psychiatry, we have helped change within for your best life.
Yeah. Thank you, though.
Bottom of the 4th inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. A couple of quick innings worked by these respective pitchers. Arlo Pendleton going 1-2-3 with an asterisk in the top half of the 4th. Carl Moland-Kovash going 1-2-3 proper in the bottom of the 3rd. So Carl's right back out there. Not much rest. He faces off against 9-1-2 to start off in the 4th inning. Joey Morosco takes a first pitch slider down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Morosco sacrifice bunt back in the 2nd inning. Unlikely to see a bunt here unless he thinks that he's got an advantage with where the defense is playing. 1-0, another slider down and away. 2 balls, no strikes. I'd almost argue there's a better crowd here tonight than there was last night for the bobblehead giveaway. 2-0, slider slipped out of Carl's hand all the way to the backstop. 3 balls, no strikes. Maybe it's because the weather's a little cooler, maybe because of Star Wars night, maybe a combination of all sorts of things. It is a Saturday night versus a Friday night. I don't know. 3-0. Carl gets a strike at the top of the zone. 3-1. Last night's attendance was 1,614. So we'll see what the announced attendance is tonight here at Goss. 3-1. Right back where it came from, past Carl's glove into center field. Morosco big turnaround first, but he'll be held to a single. Lamb cut it off quickly. Leadoff hit here in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Knights. Back to the top of the order, here's Diego Cruz. Tomorrow is the final home game for Corvallis in the 2026 season. They finish the year up in Ridgefield, taking on the Raptors. Yakima Valley will head a similar direction. They'll be up in Portland Monday through Wednesday. First pitch from Carl. That misses high and away. 1 ball and no strikes to Cruz. Cruz today 0 for 1. A walk, a strikeout, and a run scored. There's a lot of sweatshirts and jackets and pants out in the crowd tonight. As here's a ground ball through the right side into right field for a base hit. Morosco slams on the brakes out at second base. Straying quite a ways off of first is Cruz, but he'll get back safely. Back-to-back singles to start the bottom half of the 4th inning, and Corvallis is in business here on their home turf.
Now batting for Oregon State University.
That'll bring up Ethan Porter. Pippins have seen this song and dance quite a few times. Their starting pitcher gets into the 4th inning but cannot find an out. Let's see if Carl can break that trend. Porter a ground out and a walk today. He has scored 1 run after that walk. First pitch rope down the left field line. This will clang foul. Someone down from the Corvallis side of the bullpen going to pick up that loose pearl. I can't actually see the base of the foul pole. I'm so far over here behind home plate. Still a very good view of the field, but far enough over that that little corner is blocked. Carl set at the belt, looking back towards second base. 0-1. Squaring to bunt. Porter pops it up. Parker chasing it down in foul territory. Cannot get there. It falls in for strike 2. Porter trying to surprise Yakima Valley's infield. Nobody out. 2 men on. Porter not usually one that bunts, just known for a pretty big bat. Carl looks back to second. The 0-2 pitch. Rides inside. This got Ethan Porter. Porter will take off all of his extra gear, toss it back towards his dugout. Salsa going to head out and have a chat with Carl Moland-Kovash as Carl has loaded the bases with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. Gives us a chance to look around the rest of the West Coast League tonight. Everybody in game 2 of a 3-game series, second to last series of the summer. Bottom 4 in Kamloops. Wenatchee currently leads at 8-0, trying to lock down the number 1 seed in the North. Top 4 in Springfield. Ridgefield currently leads at 5-4 over the Drifters. Pippins need the Raptors to win to try to help themselves out. Pippins currently 1 game back of Springfield. Springfield in 5th, Yakima Valley in 6th. Bottom 4 in Nanaimo, 3-1 Night Owls over the Port Angeles Lefties. Bottom 4 in Walla Walla, the Sweets lead at 3-2 over the Portland Pickles, trying to get a little bit closer to the 1 seed in the South. Bottom 3 in Bend, the Marion Berries lead at 5-2. Both of those teams eliminated. Top 5 in Bellingham, Harper Catch Trail 4-0. Top 4 in Kelowna, 2-1 Edmonton. On the ground, Pippin's going to come to the plate. Parker standing on the plate, out at the plate. Pippins only get 1 out. Cole French wisely going home. Probably could have turned 2, but the run would have come across anyway. And so the base is still loaded. Reaching on a fielder's choice, Maverick Russell. Joey Marasco is out 3-2. Good awareness by French to come home with the ball. Now a double play gets you out of the inning unscathed. First pitch to Dakota Chun misses high, ball 1. No RBI for Maverick Russell. No run scored. High and away, but Parker able to jump up and snag it. 2 balls, no strikes. That was close to being the second run-scoring wild pitch tonight. Dakota Chun today, a single, an RBI, and a walk, scoring, or moving up to second, I should say, on a passed ball. 2-0, half swing. He did not go around, says Jim Courtney, the field umpire, standing in the C position. 3 balls and no strikes, nowhere to put Dakota Chun. Bases are loaded, full of Corvallis Knights. Carl's worked 3 1/3 innings. 78 pitches right now for Moland-Kovash. 3-0. Breaking ball all the way to the backstop. Runners were going to come home anyway because it was ball 4. So it's an RBI walk for Dakota Chun, his second run batted in of the night. That'll bring out Kyle Crustangel. The Pippins have had somebody warming down in the pen. And it looks like Carl's night will be done. Krusty making his way out. The man from left field making his way in. We'll get you the new pitcher's information when we come back. Yakima Valley trailing as Corvallis scores another run here in the 4th inning to make it 5-1 Knights.
New pitcher for the Pippins is number 24, Cameron Sheriff.
Bottom of the 4th inning here in Corvallis, Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. New arm into the game for Yakima Valley. Carl Moland-Kovash goes 3 1/3, and now Cameron Sheriffs comes into the game for the Pippins. Attending Yakima Valley College. This is game number 5 for Cameron. 8 1/3 innings, 5 strikeouts, 11 walks, a 9.72 ERA, and opponents hitting .342 against Cameron Sheriffs. Ryan Severns, the first man to face off against Sheriffs. The bases are loaded. All 3 runs belong to Carl. First pitch is strike to Ryan Severns right at the top of the zone. Moland-Kovash goes 3 1/3 innings, giving up 5 hits, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts on 78 pitches. 0-1 lined into right field, down for a base hit. 2 runs are going to come home to score. Ethan Porter and Maverick Russell. Sliding safely into second is Ryan Severns, and the Knights have broken it open. It's 7-1. Both of those runs belong to Carl Moland-Kovash. Dakota Chun stands at third. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's Max Medina. He's 0 for 2 today. Last time out for Cameron Sheriffs, 28th of July against the Springfield Drifters. 3 innings, 4 hits, only 1 run though. First pitch is strike to Max Medina. Walked 3, struck out 2 in that outing against the Drifters. Pippins looking for that kind of life again out of Cameron Sheriffs. 0-1. 2-seamer outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. So a Pippins starter able to get an out here in the 4th inning rather. Joey Marasco is out at home plate. Pippins infield pulled in. This is shot over the infield. Diving out in right is Tyson. He drops the ball. Everybody moves up. RBI single for Max Medina, and you can close the door on Carl Moland-Kovash. He gives up all 8 runs for the Corvallis Knights. Sheriffs has come in, thrown 5 pitches, and given up 2 hits, both of them producing runs.
Batting from the University of Portland, left fielder number 6, Zane Garvey.
Zane Garvey to hit now. 8 runs all to earn for Carl. Runners at the corners both belong to Sheriffs. Parker faking a throw down on a pitch that's down and away, as stealing a base is Max Medina. So now 2 in scoring position. Sheriffs set at the letters. 1-0 on the ground over towards second. This will be out number 2, but another run will score. Aoki on to French. 2 down, 9-1 Corvallis now. Ryan Severns trots home. Max Medina moves up to third. Ninth man to hit here in the 4th inning, Xavier Rios.
Marcos, pitcher number.
Rios 0 for 1, popped up to Stone back in the 3rd inning. He was hit by a pitch and scored back in the 2nd. First offering from Sheriffs is ripped down the left field line. This will fall in for a hit. Max Medina scores. 3rd hit already allowed by Cameron Sheriffs. At least he's throwing strikes. RBI single for Xavier Rios, and the Knights have 10 on the scoreboard. They've also batted around. Joey Marasco started off this 4th inning.
From George Fox, the ranking number 7, Joey Marasco.
Marasco singled to start this rally. First pitch, a strike to Joey Marasco. 5 hits in the inning, 6 runs have scored. 10th batter standing in, Joey Marasco for the 2nd time. 0-1 off the end of the bat over on the right side. Sheriff's chasing it to the netting, but he won't have a play. And it's 0-2. Fan in the front row thought they might have it. The net does dip quite a bit from the dugout down to the end of the seating area, but not far enough to let that ball sneak over. It's 0-2. Sheriff brings it home, and it bounces in. Good stop by Parker Burt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Xavier Rios, a catcher, standing over there at first base. Sheriff setting at his shoulders. 1-2. Wave and a miss. An inside fastball that Marasco comes up empty on. The Knights plate 6 runs on 5 hits. They leave 1 man on the base pads. Yakima Valley does not commit an error. We go to the 5th inning. It's 10-1 Corvallis here at Goss. This is Pippins Baseball.
Okay, Knights fans, it's time for the bubble jam. On first base, we have Kellen. On third base, we have Gage. We know the rules. They've got to meet at second and then make it to the opposite base. First one there wins. On our mark. Get set. Go. Who's our winner? It's red. Gage is our winner. Thanks for playing the bubble jam.
Just a few innings left to go to grab the 50-50 raffle tickets to win tonight's jackpot. This evening's 50-50 raffle benefits every child, Leyland, Benton, and Lincoln counties. Every child connects local kids in foster care with the families and community support they need to thrive. Winner will be drawn at the end of the 7th inning, so make sure you grab your tickets now.
Appreciate it. Here.
Top of the 5th inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Yakima Valley trails 10-1. It'll be 8-9-1. Yash Gupta, Cole French, Tyson Miller due up. Xavier Rios having a few more issues with his pitch comm device on the back of his catcher's gear. Perry Schofield helps him out. Now he gets ready to catch Arlo Pendleton. 52 pitches for Pendleton. First pitch of this inning is inside for ball 1. He's only allowed 2 hits. He's struck out 6. He's walked 1. Pendleton at this point kind of electing to go the distance. 1-0, line to short and caught by Severns. One down here in the 5th inning for Yakima Valley. I'll bring up Cole French. We'll see how Brook Knight wants to play this. He pulled Bryce Hill last night on 68 pitches after 4 innings in a game that was similar to this scoring-wise. The Knights were up pretty big by the middle inning. Ball bounces in, and a frame drop by Rios does not fool Perry Schofield. 1 ball and no strikes. I don't see the lights on out there in the bullpen. I see one head sticking over the wall. 1-0 downstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. Just as I say that, a couple of guys are going to head down towards the bullpen, a catcher and someone not in uniform. 2-0. This changeup below the zone. 3 balls, no strikes to Cole French. Maybe Pendleton hitting a brick wall here after a longer visit to the dugout. 3-0, high and tight, ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Cole French, the number 9 hitter in the Yakima Valley order. And now Tyson Miller in the top going to come up with a man aboard.
At the plate.
You certainly don't want to risk somebody being down for the rest of the regular season. Realistically, if Pendleton was able to go tonight, there's 4 games left to play, he could be the opening night starter of the playoffs, as this one misses downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes to Tyson. And now we're going to get a quick visit out on the hill from Rios. Brook Knight certainly has options. Corvallis has clinched the playoffs with the win yesterday over Yakima Valley. So who do you throw game 1? Right now, if the season were to have ended tonight with the records and results we have right now, Corvallis would be playing game 1 of the playoffs here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Then they would have to travel to Richfield to play 2 games at the Rourke. So that could also kind of impact who gets the start. He's going to have both Bryce Hill and Arlo Pendleton ready to go if that's the case. 1-0, there's a strike. So after the visit, Pendleton gets back in the zone. So we'll have to see. That is assuming that they both stick around with the team. 1-1 misses down and in, 2 balls and 1 strike. Tyson so far today struck out looking in the first, reached on an error in the third. He would come around to score. 2-1. Sliced into the top of the netting, foul, and then down into the Corvallis dugout. One of the guys trying to barehand it, could not come up with it, pounds the railing and says, shoot. Two balls, 2 strikes. Pendleton on the way home. Tyson watches high and away. So the count now full. Man at first is Cole French. Lights are on here at Goss. The entire stadium shrouded in shadows. Still some bright sunshine being cast in the cracks of the buildings out beyond the right field wall. Payoff pitch on the ground, bouncing towards second. Cruz to Severns, onto first. That's the second double play turned by Corvallis in as many innings. This one is 4-6-3. We're halfway home here at Goss. Corvallis leads it 10-1. We go to the bottom of the 5th. This is Pippins baseball.
You are. Fans, we heard going for our next home game tomorrow, August 2nd. It's fan appreciation night for the small time zones. It's also our final home game of the regular season. So get your tickets now at CorvallisKnights.com. It's so popular.
Bottom of the fifth inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Harmon Johnsen with you. 6 minutes past 8 here in Corvallis, Oregon. Top of the order due up for the Knights. Diego Cruz, Ethan Porter, and Maverick Russell. First offering from Cameron Sheriffs, down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. The Pippins offense has gotten a base runner in the last 2 innings, but both times they've been erased by double plays up the middle for Corvallis. As this breaking ball drops in to make the count 1-1 to Cruz. Cruz today 1 for 2. 2 runs scored, a single and a strikeout. He's also drawn a walk. 1-1, breaking ball dips inside to the left-handed hitter. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1, fastball outside, 3-1. Three-one pitch, high and away, ball 4. So Cameron issues a leadoff walk here in the 5th. 2 runs of his own came home to score back in the 4th inning. That's how we're at 10-1. Ethan Porter 0 for 1 today. Ground out, a walk, and a hit by pitch. He has also scored twice. First pitch fastball in tight, 1 ball and no strikes. In fact, there isn't anybody in this lineup except for Joey Morasco who has not scored today for Corvallis. 1-0, breaking ball called a strike. Parker pump fakes back to first. 1-1. Cruz, Porter, Russell, Chun, Severns, and Medina all scored in the 4th inning, and then before that in the 2nd, Garvey and Rios had scored in the 2nd. Sheriffs throws on to first. They got him leaning the wrong way, but Diego Cruz able to dive back in safely. Cameron peers in, now comes set. 1-1. Set foul over the top of the screen and above the McGrath family press box. 1-2. One, two, lifted out to center field. Tommy Lamb, pretty sure-handed out there, squares it up and puts away the routine fly ball. 1 down here in the 5th. That brings up Maverick Russell.
Play from UC Santa Barbara. Number 20.
Well, if there's any folks listening back in Yakima, make sure you're also paying attention to local authorities. Some more wildfires continue to plague the area. There's a vegetation fire that was burning south of the airport as Parker herd runner threw down to second and threw into center field. Cruz had bluffed that he was going to take off. He went back to first, and then when Parker threw down, nobody was ready because there was no runner coming. So Cruz is going to reach on an E2. Parker threw a dot right down to second. Would have had him if he was running. Fastball outside part of the plate, 1-1. I believe it's level 2 be prepared evacuations have been set for an area south of the airport there in Yakima. 1-1, bouncing away foul over on the first base side. That vegetation fire has grown to be about 1,300 acres just south of McCullough Road. So yeah, south of the airport, there's looks like level 3 go now orders right in the surrounding area, and then go 2 or level 2 orders for the area off to the east. 1-2 misses high and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's level 1 orders just south of Union Gap. So pay attention. 2-2 bounces in, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hopefully local firefighters can get that in control before it gets out of hand. So tragic, all of the wildfires that are happening in Washington and Oregon right now. Payoff pitch from Sheriffs. Fastball outside, ball 4. Maverick Russell coaxes a walk. A couple of free passes here in the inning. That'll bring up Dakota Chun. In the state we're in, the state of Oregon, this area, this western side of the state, not affected by the smoke at all, but you look at the central part of Oregon, the Roe Creek Complex fires have burned more than 313,000 acres. The first pitch to Dakota Chun is taken for a strike. There's multiple fires burning in that area. It's just so tragic, the amount of land that's being charred right now. Wildfires are part of life. Pitch high and tight, 1-1. Just seems odd that there's so many active right now. It's a lot of manpower to try to contain those. 1-1 misses upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. There have been some closures of some roads. US Highway 20 has been threatened by some of these. Interstate 90 in Washington. Runner taken off for third. Stealing it safely is Diego Cruz. So now runners are at the corners. Did not see the call from Perry Schofield. Looks like it was a ball. 3 balls and 1 strike. There's also a couple of new fires that have started burning right next to Spokane. 3-1. Misses outside, ball 4. 3 walks in the inning have loaded the bases ahead of Ryan Severns.
Now at the plate, UC Santa Barbara shortstop.
Hopefully those are put out by the time we get back from the road trip. I was actually planning on going up to Spokane for a day before heading back to school. Wanted to go see a Spokane Indians game. There's a couple thousand acres on fire up near Spokane. First pitch to Ryan Severns from Cameron Sheriffs, misses, ball 1. Ethan Salscheider standing on the top step of the dugout. He might be anticipating a visit coming here to Cameron Sheriffs. 1-0, ground ball out towards short. Stone to Aoki for 1, relay onto first, and unable to get it is French. It goes past him. It clangs off the sidewall, throw home, and scoring on the lackadaisical effort by French is Maverick Russell. So Cruz came home anyway. Russell follows behind him. Stone knew he had to get the ball out quickly, and that's maybe the first miscue by French over there at first base. The throw was going to pull him off the bag, but then it pounded off the sidewall. He did not go and get it right away. Chun is out 6-4 out at second base. That's the second out of the inning. Severns reaches on a fielder's choice. First pitch was a strike to Max Medina. Sheriff set at the letters. The 0-1 just misses upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. So fielder's choice. Advancing to second, they say, on an error by the second baseman. That's not right. I guess it was. It was Gupta who threw, but pitch bounces 2-1. You can give Severns an RBI for now, scoring Diego Cruz, and then Maverick Russell scores as well. 2-1, called a strike on the outer half, 2-2. They say Severns did not advance to second. That's what I was confused at. He's standing over at first. Ground ball stabbed by French. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that will retire the side. Medina grounds out 4-3.
2 runs on 4 hits.
Corvallis scores 2 more. 12-1 the score as we go to the 6th. This is Pippins baseball.
Yakima Valley.
Okay, Night fans, it's time to beat the Nuts, brought to you by Benson Interior. I am over in section F with Abby. Are you ready? Yeah. All right, we have 20 seconds. And what's our secret category, Dom? All right, when it says go, it's all you.
Padme Amidala, Leia, Luke, Han Solo, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, BB-8, Gray, Flynn, Jabba the Hutt, Jar Jar. Oh my goodness. Let's see.
12. And what did our Notch get?
Vader, Anakin, Luke, Obi-Wan, the Ewoks, Darth Maul, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, R2-D2, C-3PO.
And Abby has it. Thank you to Benson Interior for sponsoring Beat the Nut.
New pitcher for the Knights from Seattle University, number 31, Mike Hagler.
Top of the 6th inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. New arm into the game for the Corvallis Knights. Micah Hagler will come in relief of Arlo Pendleton here in the top of the 6th. Hagler from Seattle University, 2 seasons there with the Red Hawks, spent 2024 at Bellevue College. This is his first season in the WCL, but second season in summer in the Pacific Northwest. So far with Corvallis, 1-0 in 4 games, 10 innings, 11 strikeouts to 1 walk, and a 1.80 ERA. Opponents hitting .250 against Micah Hagler. Tommy Lamb, the first man that he faces. So only 64 pitches thrown by Arlo Pendleton. He is in line for the win. But he will get the rest of the night off with a very comfortable 12-1 lead. Jim Courtney having a conversation with Micah Hagler out there on the hill. Don't quite know what that was about. The count's 1-0. Pitch out of the windup, jammed off the bat of Tommy. Drifting back is Cruz, but this will drop behind him. Medina picks it up on a bounce. It's a single for Tommy Lamb to lead off the 6th inning. Tommy had this pitch in on the hands. He was able to fight it off and send it out to shallow center field for the knock. That'll bring up Diego Davis. Final line on Arlo Pendleton, 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. First pitch to Diego Davis, called a strike at the bottom of the zone, 0-1. 2 walks and 6 strikeouts on 64 pitches for Arlo Pendleton. He is in line for the win. Corvallis leads it by 11. 0-1 downstairs to Diego. 1 ball and 1 strike. Davis had the RBI single in the 3rd inning. Standing in that right-hand batter's box against this new right-hander, Micah Hagler. Ground ball out towards Severance. He's going to gather and go to first. That's the only play he had. 1 down here in the 6th. Tommy Land moves up to second base. I was about to be heartbroken. That was almost the 3rd straight inning with a double play turned by the Knights. 1 down. Here's Parker Burt. Micah Hagler has experience in summer baseball in the Pacific Northwest. He played for the Dub C Fish Sticks in 2024. He went 2-1 in 21 innings, starting 4 games, 16 strikeouts, 3 walks, and a 2.57 ERA. First pitch strike at the bottom of the zone to Parker Burt. So somewhat of a promotion in summer baseball to the Corvallis Knights, and what a squad he's joined. Of course, Dub C is one of the best teams, if not the best team in the PIL. 0-1. Wave and a miss. The top hand comes off for Parker. It's 0-2. Burt today 0-2. Strikeout, grounded out off the glove of Pendleton out towards the second baseman, Cruz. 1 out in the inning. Tommy Lamb standing at second. 0-2. Tommy's taken off. The pitch down and away. Nobody's covering third, and Lamb will have third base stolen. Probably one of the easiest stolen bases for Tommy. He could actually slow down a little bit. When he got close to the bag, Chun was playing way back. He knows how hard Parker can hit the ball on the ground. Runner 90 feet away now for Burt, an RBI opportunity. 1-2, bounced high off the plate right to the hill. Hagler looks back the runner, and Parker is out number 2. It's a couple of times that Parker has grounded out towards the pitcher's mound. It'll be up to Brennan Aoki here in the 6th inning to try to plate that run.
Now batting second baseman number 2, Brennan Aoki.
Aoki today 0-1, strikeout and a walk. As the first pitch, he pounds foul off of his foot. No balls and a strike. Strikeout was in the 2nd inning. The walk was in the 4th inning. He was the lead out of a 6-4-3 double play. Hagler 0-1. This brushes back Aoki. 1 ball and 1 strike. Coach Crestangel sporting the jacket down in the coaching box. I'll be interested to see what the temperature's like down there when I go down for the post-game interview. 1-1, wave and a miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Might be a sweatshirt kind of night. Walking around Corvallis, finding dinner later tonight. The 1-2 pitch, high and away with a breaking ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last night was very pleasant. It's about 70 degrees when the sun went down. I went to Gotcha Burger, downtown Corvallis. Really good double cheeseburger. Might have to double up tonight, although I'm kind of thinking pizza. 2-2, called strike 3, bottom of the zone to Brennan Aoki. Yakima Valley strands a leadoff single by Tommy Lamb. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Corvallis leads at 12-1 here at Goss.
Hey, baseball fans, it's 89.9 KRKT, where it's not just country. It's cricket country. Text your song request anytime to 541-926-4723. And now coming your way, it's the 6th inning self presented by Cricket Country. We see gotta be the first phrase. Fans, baby, rain. He's on a run. I'm trying to catch the best thing I ever seen. You know, I'm watching some Tennessee. It's a 20 on page. It's just absolutely really for choice.
Bottom of the sixth inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field.
Number 9, Kellen Siegel.
Kellen Siegel, pinch hitter, into the game for the Corvallis Knights. He comes in for Zane Garvey. Siegel, a two-way player, can pitch and can hit. 1-0, brushes him back, buzzes the tower. 2 balls, no strikes. Still Cameron Sheriff's out on the hill. Siegel saw action as both a hitter and a pitcher up in Yakima. In fact, he closed one of the games out. Was not a save situation, but still got the necessary outs to get the job done, as the count's now 3-0 after a slider misses high and away. So Zane Garvey ends the night 0 for 2. And Siegel, who spent 2 seasons at Lynn Benton Community College, right in the area, awaits a 3-0 pitch. It's high, ball 4. We might see quite a few members of the bench here in this contest for Brook Knight.
Now batting from LBCC, the catcher.
Siegel drawing the walk, and as if on cue, here comes another pinch hitter in this 6th inning, Aiden Hazen. Hazen got action at first base yesterday. This pitch called a strike right on the inside part of the plate. So Xavier Rios, who was catching, ends his night 1 for 2 with a run scored and an RBI. Second pitch, rather, breaking ball inside, 1-1. Hazen last night, pinch hit in the 7th inning, reached on a fielder's choice, so he was officially 0 for 1. 1-1. On the ground, backhanding Stone. He's going to go the long way to first. French with the pick. Foot was on the bag. 6-3 put out to retire Aiden Hazen. 1 down here in the 6th inning. Kellen Siegel does move up to second base. Looks like we're going to have a third straight pinch hitter here, as last night's right fielder Josh Myers is going to enter. So Joey Marasco's night is done. Corvallis has clinched. They are in a little bit of a race to try to get the number 1 overall seed. They're 3 games back of Walla Walla. Myers flies the first pitch he sees out to Miller and right. Tyson stops, stands, catches. Runner tagging at second, now retreating, Kellen Siegel. He stays at second base. 2 down here in the bottom half of inning number 6. Top of the order is not going to change. Diego Cruz will hit in his regularly scheduled spot. Cruz today has scored 3 times, 3 of the 12 runs for the Knights. First pitch high and away from Cameron Sheriff's, 1-0. Cruz has walked twice, he's struck out, and he's singled. Pippins trying to get 3 innings out of Sheriff's, or 2 2/3 it would be, as this is pounded foul up the first base line. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brennan Aoki goes out to chase the loose pearl. He'll hand it off to Hudson Freeze. Aoki still making his way back to his position as Sheriffs comes set. Looks back towards second. 1-1. Parker unable to steal a strike on the outer half of the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Two one. Breaking ball, that misses in, according to Perry Schofield. 3 balls and a strike. Getting close to the late innings here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 3-1, down the line, foul. This was chasing towards the right field pole, but it was past the safety bag over there at first. So the count, 3-2. Sheriffs brings it home. High and away, ball 4. Third time that Diego Cruz has walked today. Here's Ethan Porter with runners at first and second, 2 away.
The designated hitter, 27.
Well, if you cannot tell already, we're in the bottom of the 6th inning, and unfortunately, your broadcaster's not feeling the greatest. Popped up, first pitch, out towards shallow left. Stone backing up, putting it away. And that will retire the side. 3 innings left to play here at Goss. It's getting late between the Knights and the Pippins. 12-1 the score as Corvallis is in front.
Man, you have to turn your 50-50 fingers would be a great time. The jackpot's now at $700 to the winner. You have until the end of the 7th inning to buy tickets. And it's time for the Corvallis to put t-shirts in. And the alligator trying to put a few in. So stay tomorrow.
Hey, thanks you for being our friend.
I would like to thank you, Lord.
With friends, the Golden Girl.
I'd like you to meet my friends.
I want you to meet my friend. My best friends. That's a 10 on VTV, Western Oregon. Yeah, I'm not going to. He's have his life.
Fans, don't forget concession stands do close at the end of the 7th inning. So this is the last inning.
Top of the 7th inning. We're 2/3 of the way into the ball game here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Corvallis did not score in that bottom half of the 6th inning. It was no runs on no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on. Micah Hagler still out there. He'll face off against Max Workman, Brandon Stone, and Yash Gupta. First pitch to Workman is a breaking ball called a strike. Defensive substitutions remaining in the game in the spots of their predecessors. Aiden Hazen in the catcher spot for Xavier Rios. Kellen Siegel in left field for Zane Garvey. And Myers is into the game in right for Joey Marasco. 0-1 from Hagler inside with a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. In case you missed it during the pregame, more of the postseason picture has come into clarity. 1-1, breaking ball. There's another strike stolen by Hazen. 1-2. Couple of teams in the South clinched playoff spots last night. Walla Walla with a win over Portland. Corvallis with the win over Yakima Valley. 1-2. Flown down the right field line. This is twisting toward the seats. This will go foul. 1-2. A team was eliminated in the South as well. The Marion Berries lost at the hands of the Bend Elks, who they themselves were eliminated the night before. So there's one spot up for grabs in the South. Portland, Springfield, Yakima Valley all fighting for it. Portland's in 4th, Springfield's in 5th, 2 games behind the Pickles. Pippins in 6th, a game behind Springfield. 1-2. Wave and a miss. Another slider from Hagler. 2 strikeouts for Hagler here in the top of the 7th inning. 1 down. We'll bring up Brandon Stone.
Now to play shortstop number 9, Brandon Stone.
Stone, 2 strikeouts tonight. In the North, 2 of the teams are known. Wenatchee obviously won the first half. First pitch downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Bellingham with a win last night over Victoria has clinched a spot in the playoffs. 1-0. Pounded foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. So the final 2 spots that are up for grabs are wild card spots for either Edmonton, Victoria, Nanaimo, or Kelowna. Technically, Kamloops is still in as well. Edmonton 27 and 22. 1-1. Downstairs, 2-1. Victoria and Nanaimo both 26 and 23. Kelowna 25 and 24. Kamloops 21 and 28. They're on the verge of being eliminated if they lose tonight or if one of the teams ahead of them wins. As Stone fouls this off his back foot. 2-2 the count now. So 4 teams, 5 technically, but 4 teams vying for 2 spots in the North. It might come down to the final day in the North Division. We'll check out the matchups here in just a second. First, a 2-2 pitch on the way to Brandon Stone. Pulls this down the left field line, high and fairly deep. Siegel going to the corner. He will make the catch in foul territory. I had to wait for the umpire's signal, Perry Schofield. That area, that specific area tucked away in the corner, I cannot see because of the grandstand.
Now batting.
But there was a fist and then a point to foul territory from Perry Schofield. 2 away on the fly-out foul by Brandon Stone. He gave it a ride. Yash Gupta takes a first pitch strike. He is 0 for 2 today as well. So the last destination for all of these teams in the West Coast League, just thinking in terms of playoffs, 0-1, a slider in there, 0-2. Nanaimo is in Kamloops. That works out pretty well for the Night Owls. Kamloops likely to be eliminated before then. 0-2. Gupta stays alive. Edmonton is at Bellingham, so the Bells, depending on if they have their seating locked up, probably still going to be playing their regulars. Corvallis is going to be in Richfield. That'll be a fight for the 2 or the 3 seed, maybe the 1 seed. Walla Walla will be down in Salem. This is chopped towards the hill. Hagler, a bare hand, throw on to first, and the side is retired. Pitcher's mound has been a busy spot for defense tonight. The Pippins go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. Stretch time here at Goss. Enjoy taking me out to the ball game for this crowd for the Knights. We'll be back with the bottom of the 7th in just a moment. This is Pippins Baseball.
Number 49. Ready for 2 games for gaming. Read about tonight's games and all games in season. And Corvallis Knights, not Goss. Kids, don't forget to run the bases out of the game and get player autographs, courtesy of Old Forget Factory. Once the game is over, access the field through the TNT building project down the third base line. Reminder, no food or beverage is permitted on the plate surface. New pitcher for the Pippins, number 35, Dan Bradley.
Stretch time's come and gone here at Goss Stadium. New pitcher into the game for the Corvallis Knights. We're in the bottom half of the inning. That means the Pippins are on defense. Dan Bradley comes in from Western Oklahoma State College, a native of Keller, Texas. This will be game number 10 for Dan. He's 11 1/3 innings, 12 strikeouts, 13 walks, a 5.56 ERA. Opponents are hitting 150 against Dan Bradley. He'll face off against Maverick Russell, Dakota Chun, Ryan Severns, 3, 4, and 5 in the Corvallis Knights order. Big, tall right-hander for Yakima Valley. First pitch is a strike right at the letters to Maverick Russell. Cameron Sheriff's final line, 2 2/3, 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 5 walks, 1 strikeout on 41 pitches. Bradley working purely out of the stretch, the 0-1. Parker trying to bring it back across the plate. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Maverick Russell today, 2 for 3. He's been on base all 4 times, though, reaching on a fielder's choice and a walk. He has scored twice. He has drawn 2 RBI as well. 1-1. Dan misses way outside. 2-1. Quite a few folks have brought lightsabers to the ballpark. They are now illuminated. Kind of see where the true nerds are here tonight. 2-1. Fastball way outside. 3 balls and a strike. Walks have been an issue the last few outings for Pippins pitching. 9 of them so far tonight. 3-1, misses. There's number 10. Maverick Russell draws a free pass for the second time tonight. Leadoff man's aboard here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here comes Dakota Chun. So going back to those series that are important to the playoff picture, Wenatchee will be hosting Victoria. The Harbor Cats need their season to stay alive against the number 1 seed. If Wenatchee wins tonight, Bellingham would not be able to get it. So we'll see who Wenatchee sends out onto the field the next 4 or 5 days or so. Dan misses away to a left-hander again, 1-0. Bend will be in Springfield, potentially trying to play spoiler, depending on where we're at when we get to Portland. Yakima Valley could either help or hurt Springfield. 1-0. This pitch gets through Parker's glove, and it sneaks down underneath the tarp that's hiding back there. There's a little bit of separation between, I shouldn't say tarp, it's more of the backstop padding. Either way, it's a passed ball. Maverick Russell gets 1 base. Dakota Chun in a 2-0 count. Pitch from Bradley. Misses outside. Parker bobbles the transfer, but no advance. 3 balls, no strikes. Chun today, 3 walks and a single. He's 1 for 1. The 3-0 pitch. Taking a strike right at the knees. 3-1. Pippins have not named their starter yet for tomorrow, but pitching-wise, it very likely could be Jackson Upton. 3-1, lined out towards short, and Stone going to make the catch on the run. 1 down here in the 7th. Dakota Chun misses a base hit by a few feet. Good play by Stone out there. Here's Ryan Severns. how many times Dan has missed outside to lefties. We'll see if he can readjust to this right-handed hitter. Otherwise, he might plunk him. And if you can't tell, I started saying this, but then the inning ended. You can't tell. Your broadcaster here is a little bit under the weather. I think it's just a head cold, maybe dealing with going from dirty air to clean air. We had some smoke the last couple of weeks in Yakima and Walla Walla and all that. Pitch misses outside 1-0. The radio style of commentary is going to affect the voice, but I'm not going to give that as an excuse. 2 balls, no strikes. This misses inside. This is what I want to do for a living, and the West Coast League is nowhere near as many games as a minor league or a major league season, so just have to learn how to use the voice properly to keep it intact, as this is lined into the stands, heads up, right over the shallow net. Didn't look like anybody got hit. 2 balls and a strike after the foul ball by Severns. That's why you pay attention when you come to the ball game. Even though we have netting, baseballs still find a way to make their way into the crowd. 2-1. There's a strike. 2-2. But if there is any concern, you don't hear as much commentary as normal. That's why. 2-2 from Dan. Poked off the end of the bat out towards center field. This is going to fall in. Tommy plays it on a bounce. The windmill's on from Brook Knight over at third. Maverick Russell, the relay to the plate. It is late. Russell scores. RBI single for Ryan Severns. That's his 4th run batted in tonight. And the score now for Corvallis, 13-1 in their favor. Here's Max Medina. He's 1 for 4, a single in the 4th inning that drove home a run. He stole second, he scored himself. First pitch, a strike right on the under black. Medina didn't agree, but it was a pretty good location. Time going to be called here. Looks like Bradley's jersey came untucked. Jim Courtney not going to let Dan pitch with a loose top part of his uniform. He'll tuck it back in and get ready to play here with an 0-1 count. Longer pause. Now here's the 0-1 off the end of the bat out towards second. Aoki on the ground. Flip to Stone. Relay on to first. Double play. Yakima Valley. 2 twin killings by Corvallis. Now the Pippins return the favor to end the bottom of the 7th. 1 run did come home to score on 1 hit. There were no errors by Yakima Valley, and there was no one left on base. We go to the 8th inning. Corvallis leads at 13-1. This is Pippins baseball.
Hey fans, we are here covering kilos with great blood reviews. That's our Let's Stop Literally Phone. It's how to keep Goss Stadium clean, fill those Let's Stop airbags. Visit your local Spare Center and improve midstream. Your tires, brakes, blanket, batteries, wheels, shocks, and struts. And thank you to Les Schwab for sponsoring the dinner patrol. And thanks to all of you for please keep the ballpark cleanness.
You see a lot of people that somewhere from there. So that's big game. So figure it out and think it. Just make sure you're well. Pre-trip safety check and national tires. It's great. Our greatest story is yours. We can't guarantee it. 3 months out. Okay, fans, if you purchase a raffle ticket benefiting every child in Benton and Lincoln counties, now is the time to get out because we are about to announce the winning number. If you have ticket 858146, congratulations, you just won $726. Ticket number again, 858-146. If you have that ticket in your hand, please go to the Every Child table down the third base concourse above the ninth dugout to claim your prize of $726. One last time, ticket number 858-146. Thank you for your donations and support of Every Child in Benton and Lincoln County. New picture for the
Top of the eighth inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Levi Hodges comes into the game for the Corvallis Knights. Hodges has worked in one game so far this season. He went one inning against the Ridgefield Raptors on the 30th of, says the 30th of July. But, oh, I guess that makes sense. Yesterday was the 31st. There's the long season getting to you. One inning, one strikeout, no hits, no runs. He's from Douglas College. Coming into work in his second game, he pitches against Cole French, Tyson Miller, and Tommy Lamb. First pitch to the number 9 hitter is high, ball 1. Final line for Micah Hagler, 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts on 28 pitches. 1 ball and 1 strike now after that pitch hums in. And the biggest news of the trade deadline just came in while we were at break for the MLB. Hate to take away from this thrilling 13-1 game. 1-1, fouled off into the seats, 1-2. Tarik Skubal, Detroit Tigers ace, heading to Los Angeles to be a Dodger. One, two, just a bit inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the LA battleship, gauntlet, whatever you want to call it, just got a little bit better with the addition of Skubal. 2-2, French able to check his swing, pitch downstairs, 3 balls and 2 strikes. That was the big question of where will Skubal land, and the Dodgers not only had one of the best probably cases to get him, but then they probably have the best chance to retain him as French lifts one out towards left field. Siegel watching the twilight sky, and the ball finds his glove. 1 down here in the 8th. Looking in return for the Skubal trade. Trying to pull it up here from the various sources. Skubal to the Dodgers for outfielder Zaire Hope, right-handed pitcher River Ryan, and right-handed pitcher Brady Smith. First pitch to Tyson Miller, downstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. I guess the big concern a lot of folks are concerned about now with Skubal going to the Dodgers as the 1-0 pitch finds its way outside, 2 balls and no strikes. There's the collective bargaining agreement for the MLB expires at the end of this season. And now that a rich team that some folks call, as the 2-0 is upstairs 3-0, shouldn't say rich team, but a team that has the ability to financially sign all of these big names, leaving some of the small market teams behind. 3-0, there's a strike. The concern then becomes is will the Players Association and the MLB and the owners be able to come to an agreement to get a 2027 season started? 3-1, that's high and tight, ball 4. Tyson Miller will draw a walk. He's aboard for the second time today. I don't think anybody really wants to relive what it was like with COVID, having to wait until August for meaningful baseball to take place. That was a 60-game season.
Tommy Lamb.
And who knows? Maybe they'll get a CBA done right away, but there's a lot of unknowns with Major League Baseball and its affiliates starting next year. The pitch misses high and away, 1-0. Tommy Lamb today, 1 for 3, single error flyout. 1-0. That's downstairs. 1 ball or 2 balls and no strikes. This is going to coax a visit by Corvallis. So we won't know. Guess it kind of depends on how the rest of the trade deadline plays out, how the players feel, whatever offer the MLB gives them benefits them, and vice versa. The biggest concern with the MLB and the collective bargaining agreement is the owners want kind of a level playing field with a salary floor and a salary cap, and they want penalties for teams that don't spend a lot of money but could, or teams that spend a lot of money that they don't necessarily have with deferred payments. The players, understandably so, don't want any restrictions on how they can get paid because they want their money. So you can see both sides of the argument. And what will get done, we have yet to see. 2-0, Tommy strokes this down into center field for a base hit. A bobble out in center by Medina, otherwise they might have had Tyson Miller, who waited just a half second to make sure he wasn't lined off. Tommy Lamb, a 2-hit night. 3 times on base. He's becoming more and more a likely candidate to be an interview back-to-back nights. Diego Davis, an RBI single back in the 3rd inning. 2 men aboard here. Let's see if he can pick up another RBI. 1 down. The pitch, a breaking ball that dances outside, and looks like the catcher, Aiden Hazen's going to go back out to the mound. Corvallis just used a visit. They're going to use another one here, as I think Hodges and Hazen got crossed up a little bit. Corvallis with a comfortable lead, 13-1. Pippins only have 4 hits on the night as well. 2 of them by Tommy Lamb, 1 by Diego Davis, 1 by Max Workman. Tyson dancing out there at second. Diego fouls one straight back over the press box. 1-1. I did not get around to touring campus today. I said I was going to try, and then I elected to sleep in. It's only about a 8/10 of a mile walk from the hotel. So if I get started in the morning, I'll have plenty of time while the team is at the gym. 1-1. Pitch catches the top of the zone. It's 1-2. I don't know. I'd kind of like to see some of the areas here on campus. I don't know what the landmarks are. I've never been on campus substantially except for the ballpark here. I know the football stadium's across the train tracks to our south. 1-2. Diego bounces it in play out towards second. The relay onto second for 1. Back to first. Corvallis has turned 3 double plays in this ball game. The Pippins 2 down. Is that not 3? There was a fly out to start the inning. Now Corvallis making their way off of the field. I wasn't going to argue with them if they wanted to stay out there and let Parker Burt hit, but Corvallis gets a second inning ending double play, the 3rd double play of the night, and they lead it 13-1 as we go to the bottom half of the 8th. One more chance for them to add on. This is Pippins baseball.
Attention to Florida.
Bottom of the 8th inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Harmon Johnsen with you. It's 9 o'clock in Corvallis, Oregon. You're listening to Pippins Baseball on the road. Only get to say that 4 more times. Yakima Valley has game 3 of the series here in Corvallis tomorrow. And then a 3-game set down, or I guess from where we're at, up in Portland, starting on Monday. Kellen Siegel, Aiden Hazen, first 2 scheduled here in the inning against Dan Bradley. It's a first pitch strike to Kellen Siegel, who walked back in the 6th inning. Josh Myers is due up 3rd. Bradley looking for 3 more outs, and the Pippins bats will have 1 more chance to hit. 0-1. This is upstairs with a slider. 1 ball and 1 strike. A few more lightsabers still hanging around down on the concourse in the field. Star Wars night here at Goss Stadium, as this is drilled down the right field line. This is going towards the stands, though, and it is foul. Tyson gives the ball to the folks up there standing on the deck that they had dropped it initially. One ball and 2 strikes here to Siegel. I know his dad, Dan, sitting right below me somewhere. 1-2, slider down and away. Dan Siegel, one of the top guys here in the Corvallis organization. He's been at it for quite a few years here with Corvallis and the Knights. 2-2 from Bradley. Pitch upstairs, 3-2. So that's kind of cool that you get to watch your son play for a team that you're so heavily involved in. Two. Actually, 3-2, I guess. Check swing. I must have missed ball 3. It's a walk to Kellen Siegel. Kellen's dad, Dan's been the president of the Knights since 1990 when they were founded.
Now batting from LBC.
Graduate of Northwest Missouri State. WCL Executive of the Year 2007, 2008, and 2009. First pitch strike to Aiden Hazen. So Kellen Siegel so far tonight is 0 for 0. Been on base twice. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. 0-1 from Bradley. This is again foul over on the right side. French runs out of room as it clangs into the stands along the right field foul line. No balls, 2 strikes. Just got confirmation. Dan sitting right below me. I saw him stand up, walk over, and sit in the seat right below me. Now there's a thick pane of glass, so he can't hear anything I'm saying, but on the off chance anybody ends up listening to this afterward from the Knights, Dan, glad to be here. 0-2 upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. First pitch of tomorrow's game, 5:05 p.m. So a little bit earlier start. That'll be nice for a couple of reasons. 1-2 from Bradley. Slider, foul past first. That ball just sitting harmlessly out there on the warning track. Carl Moland-Kovash going to go pick it up. The reason the earlier start tomorrow is nice is A, it's supposed to be another nice day around 75, so we get to play in the sun a little while longer. Another 1-2 from Bradley. Slider, called strike 3, right on the outside part of the plate. Aiden Hazen 0 for 2 in his day. Here comes Josh Myers. B, the other reason that the 5:05 start is nice is Yakima Valley is actually spending the night in Corvallis tomorrow because we go on to Portland the next day. So we will spend Sunday night here in Corvallis, drive up the, hour, maybe less, to Portland. And we won't have to leave as the first pitch misses high, ball 1. Won't have to leave bright and early either because we can't really check into the hotel any earlier than probably 2 or 3 o'clock. Most hotels you don't check in at 11. They're still in the checkout process. 1-0, there's a strike over the plate, 1-1. So we'll leave Corvallis probably right after getting some lunch. We'll head up to Portland, check into the hotel, head to Walker Stadium. 7:15 first pitches, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So it's going to be kind of a long but short travel day. 1-1 upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. If the 5:05 first pitch can somehow hum right along and we can get the game done in a reasonable amount of time, 3 hours or less, a lot of the places near where we stay here in Corvallis are still going to be open. Might actually be able to go out, grab some sit-down food, hang out instead of just fast food all the time. 2-1 upstairs, 3 balls and a strike. I think I almost prefer that on a 6-game road trip. The 1:05 is nice, but that's really only if you're going to your next destination that night, which if it was a 1:05, Yakima Valley might have considered going up to Portland Sunday night. 3-1. This is outside ball 4. It goes to the backstop. Kellen Siegel going to move up to second base. Josh Myers aboard at first. We go back to the top of the order for Corvallis. 6th trip through. Diego Cruz is 1 for 2. Single, strikeout, walk, walk, walk. We'll see if eventually the West Coast League kind of standardizes like a 1:05 first pitch on Sundays. You can't really force your teams to say when you want to start because everywhere is different. 0-1 down and in across the shoe tops. Parker with a good block. 1 ball, no strikes. Some cities have ordinances that on certain days you have to be done by 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I know in Yakima we can't have any loud extra noises over the PA after midnight. 1-0 out towards right field. Tyson coming on. This is going to drop. Station to station go the 2 base runners, and the bags are full. Second hit of the night for Diego Cruz. Corvallis trying to add on a couple more runs to this big lead, 13-1. Ethan Porter, 0 for 3, a walk and a hit by pitch as well. He scored twice. Dan Bradley being asked to get these next 2 outs. First pitch misses upstairs to Porter, 1-0. But I would think that most people that come to West Coast League games would appreciate a 1 o'clock or maybe even a 2 o'clock start on Sundays, unless there's a special event. 1-0 in there for a strike, 1-1, maybe even 11 o'clock. It's a quick turnaround from Saturday to Sunday, but then the payoff is the team that is on the road gets to head home and be home at a reasonable hour. The team that's at home gets the day done and over with. They get to relax the rest of the day away. 1-1 popped up over the press box. It's 1-2. So I don't know. Maybe there'll be some persuasion in the off-season meetings. It just seems like once we get to this part in the season, I know it's hot, but starting at 5:05 or 6:05 on a Sunday when a team has to travel 4+ hours to get home just doesn't make sense. Bases loaded, 1-2 from Bradley. Breaking ball outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I would personally be in favor of 105s every Sunday because you have the off day Monday for most parts of the year. 2-2 out towards right. Tyson has it come down into his glove. Runners at second and third tag. Throws a good one, but it's up the line. Parker just has to block it. 14-1 the score as Corvallis tacks on another one. Sacrifice fly by Ethan Porter. That is the second out here in the 8th inning. Siegel scores. Myers moves up to third. Here's Maverick Russell. Russell, 2 for 3, double single fielder's choice, and then back-to-back walks. He's scored 3 runs. He has 2 RBI. First pitch is strike right at the letters to Maverick Russell. Pippins in the 9th inning have Parker Burt, Brennan Aoki, and Max Workman. Runners at the corners, 0-1 from Dan. Missed inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Nighttime has fallen here in Corvallis. We're getting closer and closer to the 3-hour mark in this game. The Pippins have not played under 3 hours in quite a while. Taken for a strike, 1-2. Last night's contest, 3 hours, 20 minutes. All 3 Springfield games were north of 3 hours and 15 minutes, 2 of them 3:40. Sunday game against Corvallis last week was 3:43. 1-2. Breaking ball inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Pippins played a marathon game with Walla Walla during the middle game of that series, 4 hours and 8 minutes long. The last game under 3 hours for Yakima Valley was July 22nd in Walla Walla, 2 hours and 43 minutes. 2-2. Russell takes high. 3-2 the count. Second base is unoccupied. Diego Cruz will start his wheels over at first on the pitch. Here comes the payoff from Dan. Across the feet, this is ball 4. Coming home to score as the ball goes to the backstop will be Josh Myers. Moving up to third because he was in motion is Diego Cruz. Maverick Russell reaches on a walk. He does not get an RBI. The bases were not loaded. Diego Cruz moves up to third on the wild pitch. It's 15-1 Corvallis, and the Pippins do have bodies down in their bullpen. Nobody's throwing. Yakima Valley just kind of sacrificing Dan Bradley right now to get one more out. Dakota Chun stands in. First pitch upstairs. 1-0. Runners still at the corners, but another run has come home to score. 1-0. Now upstairs, 2-0. A lot of games still going on. A couple of close games, couple of games that are out of hand tonight. 2-0. Out towards left field. Workman going back. He will make the catch shoulder high. And that will retire the side. Corvallis 2 more runs on only 1 hit. No errors by Yakima Valley, and 2 runners left on base. We go to the top of the 9th inning here at Corvallis. The Knights lead it 15-1, 3 outs left in the contest.
Where it began, I can't begin to that I love. Bring back when you were gone. And me, come on, children.
Top of the 9th inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Harmon Johnsen with you, 9:16 p.m. here in Corvallis. Parker Burt, Brennan Aoki, Max Workman due up, but Hudson Freeze has grabbed a baseball bat. He will be likely pinch hitting for Aoki, who's due up second in this inning. Still facing off against Hodges as Parker digs in. Here's some of those aforementioned scores. Nobody's final yet. Top of the 8th inning in Kamloops. Wenatchee leads at 11-3, though. First pitch from Hodges. Check swing from Parker. He did not go around. 1-0. Top of the 8th inning in Nanaimo. The Night Owls lead at 16-1 on the Port Angeles lefties. Out of the windup, the 1-0 on the ground out toward short. Severn's up with it. Throws across. 1 down here in the ninth. Here comes Huddy. Got a pinch hit at bat yesterday. He was 0 for 1. So Aoki ends his night 0 for 2. So those are the more blowout games to go along with ours, which is a 15-1 score. Close games, top of the 8th in Springfield. The Raptors lead it 7-6 over the Drifters. The Drifters needing a win here to get 2 games ahead of Yakima Valley. Freeze takes the first pitch upstairs from Hodges. Bottom of the 8th in Walla Walla. Here's another reason why Springfield needs to get in the lead. Portland leads at 8-6 over the Sweets. Fouled straight back. Count now 1-1. Bottom of the 8th up there at Borleski. Bottom of the 8th inning in Bend. Tie ball game between the Elks and the Berries 5-5. 2 teams that are eliminated from postseason contention. Having a good battle there. 1-1 to Hudson. Strike over the heart of the plate. 1-2. Bottom 8 in Kelowna. Edmonton leads it 4-3 over the Falcons. Falcons so good to start the first half. Second half, they're only 9-13, though. Top of the 9th in Bellingham. The Bells lead at 7-5 over the Harbor Cats. 1-2. Breaking ball upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So quite a few matchups that are going the way of the folks that are already in the lead. Portland trying to get back to 500 and get 3 games above Springfield. 2-2 back to the backstop. The count now 3-2 to Hudson Freeze. Pippins came into the day sitting 3 games back of Portland. With their win and Yakima Valley's loss, they would be separated by 4 games. Punched back towards the Pippins on deck circle. It's still 3-2. So 4 games back with 4 games to play. 3 of them against Portland. Yakima Valley cannot be mathematically eliminated tonight with the loss. But it does make it darn difficult. Hudson, did he go around? No. Pitch upstairs, it's ball 4. Hudson Freeze draws a walk. He's aboard here in a league contest. First time he's been on base anywhere other than Yakima County Stadium.
Now batting left fielder number 99, Max Workman.
Here's Max Workman, 1 for 3. First pitch high and away. 1 ball and no strikes. It's a 14-run lead. I'm sure Brooke Knight probably a little bit frustrated that this game's not over already, especially after the early ground out by Parker Burt. 1-0 below the knees. 2 balls and no strikes. Yakima Valley's bullpen did empty. Nobody's standing down there. They all came back to the dugout to watch the top of the ninth. Can't quite see if Corvallis is all the way empty or not. 3-0 now to Workman as the pitch misses outside. Pippins trying to spark some momentum for tomorrow. 1 run on only 4 hits right now. 3 of them belonging to the top third of the order. 3-0, misses upstairs, ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Workman, back-to-back walks issued by Hodges. Levi Hodges up to 3 walks now on the night. He walked Tyson Miller in the 8th inning. Brandon Stone 0 for 3. This would probably be about the time that Corvallis would turn a 4th double play tonight. Really make some salt be put in the wound. Time call. Jim Courtney says balk. Levi Hodges did not come all the way set. So Yakima Valley has 2 runners in scoring position here for Brandon Stone. Counts 0-0. Outs are 1. Stone takes the first pitch outside, 4-1. That's 6 straight pitches that have missed for Levi Hodges. One-0 out of the stretch. Breaking ball drops in there for strikes. Now 1-1. Well, it's a lot harder to turn that 4th double play of the night now. Have to be kind of a line drive and then somebody getting caught not on a base. 1-1, ripped foul right down the left field line. Hudson Freeze doing the proper thing, standing in foul territory when that pitch was thrown. If it would have hit him, which it came close to, but he doesn't seem too fazed by it, would have been a foul ball. If he would have been standing in fair territory and it would have hit him, he would have been out. 1-2 here to Stone. Half swing, did he go? Perry Schofield says, yes, he did. Didn't even need help from the field umpire, Jim Courtney. And there's 2 away. Stone strikes out swinging for the 3rd time tonight.
Now at the plate for the Pippins.
Last man up, Yash Gupta. 0 for 3 tonight. Fly out, line out, ground out. First offering to Gupta. Flown, left field, Siegel, ball game. Yakima Valley, no runs on no hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base in the top half of the 9th inning. Corvallis victorious 15-1. Yakima Valley 1 run on 4 hits tonight, and they are now a game out from being eliminated from postseason contention. We'll see how the Portland result ends up in Walla Walla tonight. That'll kind of tell you what tomorrow means. But for right now, if the Portland score holds, Yakima Valley is do or die tomorrow in terms of their postseason hopes. Tommy Lamb had 2 hits tonight. He was also on base via an error. Diego Davis had an RBI single. Max Workman was 1 for 3. He drew a walk as well. We're going to go talk to a Pippin, get on the bus, and get some food tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, 5:05 p.m. first pitch. Until that time, I'm Harmon Johnsen. For everyone involved in the Yakima Valley Pippins, saying stay safe, have a great night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Final score in this one, Corvallis 15, Yakima Valley 1. You've been listening to Pippins Baseball.
Fans, be sure to join us for our tomorrow, August 2nd. It's Fan Appreciation Night, presented by Les Schwab Tire Center.